Yep, it's that time of year again. Risa! And as a result of that, we end up with a new starship, Gomtu, which, hey, um, given that they already gave us the Nidarian Defender, giving us bio something or other ships, yeah, why not? So, what do we know about the Gomtu ship? Almost nothing. So this isn't about the ship stats, it's just telling us what the ship is. We'll probably reveal the ship stats next week, because they're going to have a 10 forward stream next week, and that seems like the perfect time to do a ship stats reveal. Anyway, so what do we know about things that might possibly be abilities of Gomtu? Realistically, the only thing was ever seen doing in combat was creating this energy wave that the first time it exploded a Romulan warbird. The second time, it acted kind of like tractor beam repulsors and pushed the Romulan warbird that it hit the second time out of the solar system. Don't really know how much damage there was to it because it was basically flung out of sensor range. So, maybe it lived, maybe it didn't. Couldn't tell you. Oh, wait. So the second time it pushed both the Enterprise D and the Warbird away from it. So if the Enterprise D survived, the Warbird probably survived too. Anyways, the Pterodexes are usually extremely tough. However, under certain circumstances, they're kind of sort of cannon fodder. Yeah. Anyways, that's basically it. I would like it if the devs gave us an interior, because we do kind of canonically have an interior for the thing. Because, like the Nidarian, it did have the ability to have people inside. And that was actually a main plot point, is that this thing was looking for a crew. They get lonely, apparently, if they don't have humanoids to keep them company. And also, the one scene in the Tin Man episode of Star Trek The Next Generation was believed to be the only one left alive in the universe, because it had been trying for hundreds or thousands of years to find other members of its species and had so far failed. That's interesting. Anyway, enough about Gomtu. We will see it in much greater detail later. This is what caught my attention and is the reason why I decided to do this. Terror-Former. Tactical Kit module. As far as I know, these three new modules do not have bridge officer versions accompanying them. This, however, could be an oversight and they just forgot to mention that, but they specifically state elsewhere that they are adding bridge officer versions of other things, not these. So we'll see. Risa has several good bridge officer training manuals already, but anyway, Terror-Former is something that reading the description of this, I do not understand how it works. It sounds like the seismic instability thing that science officers have, except that it has more than one location that it hits. And obviously this blog does not have numbers, so what will it actually have for numbers is going to heavily influence how much people actually want to use this. The idea certainly sounds interesting, though. Unseen Mischief. Okay, this is basically just a cloak kit module for science. Like, have your science captain become invisible. Doesn't say how long you can stay invisible. But it does have an interesting side effect of if you cloak while people are within 15 feet of you, it will apply a confuse to them. That could just mean that it causes them to forget you're there and stop targeting you so that they don't shoot you after you cloak. Yeah, that's sometimes what the game means by confuses your foes. Toggling it off gives you a critical chance buff for 30 seconds, and yeah, that's all it says. Now, interestingly, I'm not really sure what it means by toggle off if you engage in combat. Does this mean that you can't fire a weapon while you are invisible or like use offensive kit modules? That would make sense. I don't think it means toggle off because you entered red alert, because it has an ability that's only active if you're already in combat. Now, this has a lot of similarities to the tactical kit module for making you invisible. Will it benefit from the duty officers that enhance that? Interesting question. Very interesting question. I would like it if it did, quite frankly, because of the fact that while those duty officers are quite good, if you're a tactical officer, no one else has any utility for them other than sending them on BOff missions. So, having it get a benefit from that would be nice. All right, next up, Holographic Defenders. Now, this is interesting because of the fact that the whole point of this is basically to just like do the thing that one well, actually, it's kind of like it has a split thing. It's like there's the one Intel kit module that creates a holographic clone of yourself that runs around and aggroes things. Thing is, that clone doesn't do damage. These, however, sound like they are not actually going to be using your abilities. It sounds like they're just going to be essentially just like akin to security team personnel, except that there's going to be 10 of them. Well, up to 10. It's a variable number, but realistically, players are probably going to activate this only when there is a large number of enemies in radius. Also, the fact that it requires you to be standing within 15 meters of the enemy is interesting. Yeah, we'll see about that one. Also, it maxes out at 5 enemies, but 5 enemies is the standard enemy mob size in Star Trek Online, so that's fine. Also, another one where the amount of damage it does is going to have a strong effect on how much people like it. And also whether or not the holograms actually have the ability to get aggro. Because if the holograms are actually aggroing things so that the enemies shoot the holograms instead of you, that has a lot of utility, even if the holograms don't do damage. Then again, there is the whole like zero aggro thing where if you haven't damaged an enemy and any damage will cause it to generate aggro, even if it's trivial. So, yeah, maybe is that. Maybe. Okay. Costumes. This was seen in one of the Next Generation movies, and that holographic scene where they were promoting someone. Anyway. I don't remember which episode this comes from. One of the several episodes involving Betazoids, I guess. Why exactly? I don't know. Anyway, it's certainly a costume we don't have, and my brain goes to Santa's elf for what people will do with this as a costume, and there's other options as well, but this particular setup feels very Santa's elf. Wonder if this is something that one of Luoxana Troy's servants had as a costume. Anyway, and we have football/soccer jerseys. These are probably not recolorable, much like the baseball costumes, which you can apparently mix and match these with. Okay. Hey, you know what? Do I think it's like the best thing ever? No, but it's fun. Definitely something different. I do find it interesting. This is apparently throwing out 6 different ones at the same time. Because like the baseball jerseys, they kind of like staggered those and like doing 2 a year or something like that. Now we have the non-combat colorful version of Moopsy. I mean, it's still an eldritch horror and should be exterminated on sight, but at least it's one that won't kill you. Emotes. I'm really not sure how they're going to animate some of these, because some of these are things that would logically require your character to move across the room. Like walk the plank. I'm genuinely not sure about that one in general, because the fact that it would seemingly require your character to move vertically. Or is it just like having your character step forward a few times and then done? I don't know. Spyglass, that's an easy one. Have your character pull out a telescope and look through it. Cool. Fire at will. Probably that gesture Picard did in various times where he's just like pointing at the view screen and telling people to fire. Red card. That goes with the soccer theme. And penalty shot, again, is like soccer themed stuff. Juggle, knee slide, yellow card. Yeah. Juggle is interesting because of the fact that you would presumably have your character pull out a soccer ball and bop it around like a hacky sack for a little while, but that's it. Penalty shot would presumably have your character kick the soccer ball across the room. Knee slide is another one that I'm curious how they're going to actually implement, because of the fact that logically it requires your character to move as part of the emote. Like knee slide is normally it's like slide across the pitch and on the soccer field. It's like how far are you going to slide if for this emote? Interesting question. Yellow card, much like the red card, it's like you just hold up a card. Whatever. Seems easy. And that's it for today. Oh yeah. Oh, actually one more thing. This cool. This is the other thing I was talking about. Bridge officer versions of several of the old ones. Cyclonic Generator. I mean, I'm not sure how well the bridge officer version is going to work. I'm going to do a video about that later. Trust me, I will do a video about that later. Magmatic Deployment. The player version I don't like because it has a long cooldown. Curious how the bridge officer version is going to be balanced. Virulent Dark Matter Cloud. This is one of the ones that kind of got me excited. I do have to question whether or not bridge officers will be able to properly benefit from the Risa kit frame, because like they don't technically use kit modules, and the Risa kit frame, I'm not sure if the Virulent Dark Matter Cloud would, for a bridge officer, count as having a Risa kit module equipped. And yeah, Virulent Dark Matter Cloud, though, is actually one of those where I like it as a debuff. I'm not sure how well it would work on a bridge officer because it's the kind of ability that needs intelligent targeting, and bridge officers tend to just whatever aggroes them gets hit with anything and everything they have available. And whatever. Having it as an option is good, even if it's not an option that I like for general usage. Definitely like having it as an option. The debuff on it is pretty insane, which is why I use it on captains. We'll see if it's actually good on bridge officers. Alrighty then, see you guys later.